Okay. So when we left off, who was staying behind with? I suppose her name is now Annie.
Well, I think I said I would.
I think Gore and I were both, because we were the ones talking at the end.
I thought it was Dudley.
Yeah.
I think it was Dudley. Dudley was going to stay, and then I think I said I will stick behind. I will stay behind to keep Dudley out of trouble.
Okay.
But feel free to stay
Dudley
with us.
to be
It only
okay.
takes a dwarven monk and a cloistered cleric to take
Trust Duds. All right, yeah, trust him.
I didn't want to go back with the injured dude. So I'm staying back too.
So we're gonna just make. We're just gonna.
I have no interest.
Just gonna have the cloistered cleric do it by himself. That's not fair.
I'll take the donkey. It's only like 3 hours. I'll be back in like...
Get your own donkey, not having mine.
Well, okay, then if I wasn't staying back there, then I would have helped, because I knew the guy.
Gorbad is like, look,
Rankin Samuelson is not going to be okay
I'm
with
always
that.
the DM. It is my donkey. I don't have to share the donkey. For once in my D&D career, it's my donkey.
Yeah, my donkey's name is
horses,
Rankin
right?
Samuelson. If you missed that, and he wouldn't like that. He just wouldn't.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
But he
wants
hates
to
me,
be
but he
than
clearly
mine.
hates everybody else more. So
I have pretty good animal handling. I'm gonna steal that
stop
donkey.
trying to steal my donkey.
I'm gonna steal your donkey, Gore.
You're gonna animal handle him away from me.
This is for killing my friends, Gore.
This isn't like the worst innuendo we've ever invented. I just need to make certain that I have a general sense of where this campaign is going.
Hey, as long as there's a start, a middle, and an end, what else do you need, right?
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, to set the tone here, so we can obliterate it in 2 seconds. The second somebody opens their mouth, it is what time? You guys showed up basically. So, as soon as you left, as soon as you could, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like 11 or noon, right?
Yeah, it's like 11ish, noonish.
Noonish, yeah.
The old rickety house that you're in, it's this very big, multi-floored. This is the place where people live on the farm, as opposed to where the animals live on the farm. It's not the barn; it's the farmhouse. Hold on, I have a solution for this.
Fizbin, thanks for the reset, bud.
As soon as I look, it changes. Oberdon, thank you. I look over at the stream. I'm like, yes, I will know what their name. Fuck, it says Gorbad. As Oberdon pointed out, I don't know if he verbalized this or not, but this house is way too big for one little old lady. Nor is one little old lady probably responsible for the raising of all the horses, because it's a ranch. It's a horse farm. However, I believe we are sending the poor cloistered cleric on their own. Without the donkey?
Do we really want to do that, though? I mean, do we actually want to do that, or?
Well, I mean, there's always the chance he could get got.
I mean, the gottening could happen.
Then I could write a happier boy. So
Maybe you shouldn't split this party, huh?
Well, I think
there are horses on the farm. They go faster, right? I mean,
yeah, I could steal a horse. I mean,
is it stealing though? If the old lady says
it's commandeering it. Yeah, it's commandeering it. It's not even her horse. She can't get.
But
Anyway.
we don't know that for sure.
Don't know that yet.
Last I remember, I was talking.
Speaking of, I have a question for any of the like old medieval culture buffs in the audience. If you eat a family, do you then own all of their horses?
If you eat the family.
Yeah, who can answer that question?
Except, do we know the legalities of that? Like...
someone Wikipedia that question or Quora, you know.
I think it depends on who saw you eating the family. If the family saw you eating them as they were being eaten, it might be considered a crime.
But if you were nobility, then it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
If they were living on your property,
Right.
you could eat them because they're yours anyway.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know.
So what's the plan? Who's going and who's staying?
If nobody else is willing to go with our cloistered cleric, I will go.
Okay.
I'll go with him.
Tag along the Amory train. All aboard. We snaw.
All right. So we're sending the two church people to go to the church and leaving everybody else behind.
Apparently so.
Okay. So you guys can pile up your stuff on the donkey. There is a cart. If you ask permission to use the cart, the old lady doesn't care. Like, help yourself. Doesn't seem to give a shit what you help yourself to or what not.
Because it's not hers.
She's probably more upset that we asked.
Because that makes her answer. Now she's I guess let's just take the horse and cart, and we'll just drag, and then we'll just have the donkey walk alongside.
Yeah.
That way we can.
And, like, he's able-bodied but weak and drained.
Yeah. He'd do better.
Basically, to recount, he's got these weird black veins growing up his arms from where the wounds were, which Emery believes can be cured if given time under the care of a priest. The various magical attempts we made to cure this didn't work. However, we did heal the physical wounds that he had. He is currently seeing everybody around him as though they are dead people he knew. Dead people. I don't know if Hjorthurk specifically stated to the rest of the group that they were dead people he had killed.
I did, yeah.
Okay,
okay.
And so, do you guys want to handle the scene at the house or the scene arriving at the temple first?
The second.
Second.
Does it count as being thrown under the bus if it's a donkey and cart?
Maybe.
So you guys will pull back into the town, and during the day when the sun is not like setting or rising, and you don't have to deal with all those weird tricks of the light or the shifting in the temperatures, the road seems a lot less oppressively normal. It seems a lot less deceptively average in the sunlight. And that sensation you're expecting to feel, because it was very crushing the first time you approached the village, isn't there. Which is either more unsettling or comforting, depending on how you want to look at it and whether or not your glass is half full. The temple that's here is actually a good and proper temple. It's a small one, but it's the most respectable structure in the village. Most of the buildings here, you know, they're poor, they're in shambles. This place it would be difficult to be poor and in shambles because it's made of good solid stone, and you know the architecture of the church from thousands of years back is evident in the way that all the stones are laid out, and the steeple is there, and it's got the big huge golden sun. For those who are following along at home, Pelor, the god of good, the god of healing, the god of sunlight, fire, particularly loathes the undead, which until recently had his church and the Church of Adalis in alignment. Church of Adalis has been reasonably and for good reason ostracized from most of the family gatherings, let's call them.
Yeah.
Because we done fucked up.
Done fucked it up.
Yeah.
So you guys are bringing in a body that is moving, talking, and alive.
Okay.
But still, it's infected.
You had me worried for a second.
On a cart with a donkey that is not a horse. So I don't even know where the horse in the cart and the court came from. To a church that is probably not going to be happy to see you, but can't turn away the person in need that you're about to bring to them, which will probably make them even more annoyed. The doors are clearly open and unlocked. Like you can just it's a nice, you know, that pointed steeply kind of patterned doors with a crack down the center that you can push or pull open. And as you kind of press your hand on it and push it in, you are greeted with this flow of warm, nicely scented air, which is the first, like, there's that moment of like, wow, this is what normal air is supposed to smell like, and I didn't even realize the general stench of decay that had been subtly hanging over the whole town until I set foot in the church. There is a very young little girl, an orc. Her fangs are just starting to her tusks are just starting to grow in, and she's looking away from the doors as you enter. Basically, it's a small church, so you basically open the doors directly into the sanctuary with the pews on either side. There's no, like, lobby. And up at the altar at the front, there is this little orcish girl with her hair pulled back, and she's standing in, like, the praying position, just kind of quietly looking up. And she doesn't seem to notice that you've entered the building, but you don't see anybody else.
There's just the one... Okay, in that case, I'm not going to do what I was going to do.
Kick the door down and angrily demand assistance!
More basically butter them up and yell it, but, Okay, so we'll open the doors, and then if I see her just sitting there, at this point the dude is probably still in the cart.
Yeah, you probably don't want to bring the evil infected dude into the church without alerting the priests.
Yeah. When Oberon kind of opens the door, looks in, and realizes that's all there is here, initially he is going to wait impatiently. Wait in the hopes that she'll finish soon.
Oh, okay.
Rather than just interrupt her prayers.
So she finished, like, this will take her a solid, like, 2 or 3 minutes. So there's that silence and that tension as you're just like... And then she will turn around and she will, like, be startled by the fact that there are people in the church. Eh! She looks at you suspiciously for a moment. Stop!
Good afternoon, illustrious follower of the sun. Are you a priestess?
Training.
Oh, do you have anybody else that's here? Anybody else that might be, well, who trains you?
That would be Big Mama.
She's
Mama. She's not here right now. Big Mama. You know, Mama, Big Mama.
I'll look at Emery with a.
Do you have any idea who this woman is?
No, I haven't heard of a Big Mama in any organization. Sorry.
So you would say that this is Big Mama's house? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Mama runs the church.
Excellent. Is she going to be coming along soon at all?
Sometimes, yeah. Why? What's up?
We have found a fallen individual, wounded and sick, needs immediate aid. I'll find ourselves in a position not to be able to administer it.
Oh! And she, like, in the middle of your set, as soon as somebody needs help, she's like, poof, and she's in action. She's walking directly towards you guys, presumably out the front door.
Yeah.
And she'll just, like, walk right past you.
Yes, that's him on the cart.
I'll show her. Yeah, I'm gonna run over and basically lead her to what she probably already found is the corpse-like figure of a guy who's not having a good day.
Right. So she approaches the cart, right? And this guy, like, jumps back when he sees her approaching.
Oh dear.
And grabs his weapon and, like, pulls.
No. That's right. He probably thinks you're some kind of demon or demonic thing. He's been afflicted with some sort of madness in that regard.
Little girl, looks at him, completely fearless. He's got his weapon out. She doesn't even flinch. Whether that's that orcish bravado, the innocence of a child, or the mixture of the two, she just doesn't seem to mind that he's brandishing a weapon at her. And she just, like, looks him up and down. And she goes, ugh. That's not good.
No, it's really not.
Where'd you find him?
Over at the ranch down the road.
Cena Ranch.
You know? I don't know if you've seen the ranch.
Cena Ranch. I hate myself. Past me is an asshole. Cena Ranch.
I just noticed we got the Q&A bar up. That's what we want.
Yeah, get that out of there. What are you doing?
What was his name? His name was what was this guy's name? Otto, you know him.
Yeah, Otto, you know him. What was his name?
Oh, am I here?
No.
Oh.
The DM is non-canonically whispering into the back of your head.
Who the guy? Well, I call him Wally.
Wally.
Yeah.
Was it Wally?
Wallace.
Wallace.
Yeah.
Wallace. Do we know what his last name was?
And his sister was Sarah. Sarah something. She was a good-looking girl. She looked good.
She was pretty. Yeah.
She was pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember Wally.
So, so she'll just turn around after like he's got his weapon out and stuff, right? And she says, she looks at Emery, and she says, "I thought he was dead."
Oh no, he's not. He's not.
I should probably go get Mama.
Yeah.
His quarters are like behind. There's a door. It's the third one on the left behind the stage.
Okay.
You look churchy. You'll be fine, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And then she just starts walking down the road.
While I am alone in the church, I would like to raid the font and fill up a water flask with holy water.
All right.
Because I'm really not that... I don't really have a lot of spells, and purifying food and water is something I would rather not waste it on if I have to. So I'm going to liberate some of theirs, and under my breath, just quietly say,
"Forgive me, Piro, I understand that you know that I need this more than you do."
And fill up the water skin. And I'll half-assedly make the sign of, Piro. You know, I'll start doing a circle of the sun, and when I get to the middle part where I'm supposed to do all that, and then I'll walk off.
Yeah, you do the doctor's signature version of the holy signs.
Yeah, that's right.
The scribble that probably means letters. Yeah. All right, Emery, what are you doing?
I'm going to be. She wanted me to take the guy in, right?
Yeah. She
So,
just
yeah,
left the student. Like,
Yeah.
Still put him. You got full reign of the place, apparently.
So I'm going to approach with caution, showing that I'm probably the same demon or same dead guy as before.
Yeah, he seems to recognize you.
Okay. Oh, that's annoying. I'm the same dead guy every time.
Boring.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and just like approach him, kind of guide him up, and help him all corpsely like shamble him up the. No, I'm not actually doing that. I'm taking him up.
Like as you're like escorting him, right? He'll stop because he's got his sword out, and he'll actually start writing in the dirt. And do you speak Elven?
I don't think I do. No.
Okay, so he starts writing something that looks like Elven in the dirt.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't.
And then he motions to the building, like with a questioning, and then he motions down the road with a questioning expression.
I'm just going to pantomime because I know he can't understand what I'm saying. And yeah, seeing his gesture, I'm just going to be like, kind of gesture where she ran, and just going to be like, she's going to go and then come back with help. We're all going to be inside, and it'll be good. It'll be good.
There is a skill.
Is it performance? Because
no,
do panto.
I'm assuming you don't speak. I'm assuming you don't speak thieves' cant, because you don't strike me as the type who would speak thieves'
cant.
No, but if you need someone to speak infernal.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I saw your gestures, so I can run off the roleplay at the very least. And then he'll like eye you, and then he'll hold up a finger.
Okay.
And he'll be like, he points at you, points down, and he holds up his finger, and then he walks into the church.
He wants me to wait here while he goes.
Okay, how well? So when I see this guy walk in, how well is he walking?
He's weak, like physically weak, but enough that he could probably travel short distances. He definitely looks like he's not letting on how weak he is, as if he's the type to like not want to show how badly screwed up he is.
Right.
And so he'll walk down the aisle and he'll like shake Oberon until Oberon pays attention to him.
Yeah. So, well, as soon as I see him come in and realize that he's trying to walk by himself, I will quickly go over and do the whole like put my catch him before he falls type thing.
So he'll escort you back out to Emery.
Wait, what is it?
And he'll look at you because he can't understand what you're grunting and groaning, the mouths of the damned. Yeah. And and then he'll bring you into point of the ground because he knows you can read Elven because we've done the writing thing before.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So he wants to know. It says, "Who is that ghost?" And what is this building supposed to be?
Okay. Then in Elvish, I will say to him,
the ghost is actually a young priestess of the religion of Pelor, the Lord of the Sun. This is their temple. We've brought you here for healing.
I don't think he's understanding you.
I think Oberdon is writing this in the dirt.
No, actually, I'm saying it first.
Oh yeah. That he'll just like look at you as you're talking.
Instinctively,
I'm gonna pull out some of my priestly goodies and just be like, "Here's a paper and charcoal. Like, just write it to him."
Well, and again, as soon as I realize, that's right, he can't actually understand me. Then, as soon as he's already scribbling in the dirt, then I will pull out the longsword and go a little bit further up, and
she is a priestess of Pelor. This is their temple. We have brought you here to be cured and for healing.
He writes,
"Do you like me? Yes, sir."
The record, you're the only person I've ever heard pronounce it Pelor, and every time I think of rice pilaf, and it's amazing.
Right.
So he writes, "Fanger? ? Little orc girl."
What does it say?
Fanger? ? Like it's a fanger. Yeah. That part is actually written in common.
And it's actually a human common name, right?
Yeah.
I will put.
Don't know. Didn't ask.
This is Westville.
Yes.
Westington. Yeah.
Westington.
Not to be confused with
Westington,
Easton,
Fieldville. Yeah. But yes.
Centralia.
He looks around like that blows his mind, and then he'll let you escort him inside.
Okay. All right. We'll help him back inside then. Instinctively, I'm going to take my boot. I'm going to take my boot and basically just run it through all the writing.
Yep.
So that it's not visible for anybody else to come along and see.
Gorbad's like, "I'm not giving the bad guys any clues."
They get nothing.
When they get to the Church of Pelor, they're going to be like, "What is this?" If only there were a note in the ground in Elven for me to read. I'm a zombie, by the way.
All right.
Yeah, we'll escort him in.
Once you've escorted him in, and he's like, you can see him starting to piece together what he's seeing with what it should be, and he'll actually start heading directly towards the room that the little orcish girl told you to put him in. You get the idea he's been here before.
Yeah, that's what I'm figuring. When he starts pulling in that direction, then we're gonna go willingly to the door, and
hello?
There's no response.
Hello?
He just opens the door and goes in. There's nobody inside.
Okay.
I was about to, but I let him do it. Okay, so gingerly kind of peer around in the room.
The room that he stepped into it's pretty Spartan, but it's clearly the quarters. You, having been like a wandering member of the Order, kind of recognize the running theme here. This is the sort of quarters you would assign to like a knight errant or a religious warrior. It has nothing other than like there's it's a mannequin for a suit of armor that's about his size. There's a small rack with a couple of different blades that have clearly been blessed. There's a religious text on a desk with a candle, etc., etc. But there's nothing else in the room to indicate any sort of personal anything outside of fight and worship.
Is there somewhere for him to kind of sit or lay down?
Yeah, he goes right to the bed.
Okay.
And just like sits.
No other entrances or exits other than the one we came in?
There is a window on the back.
Okay, then I'm going to go peer out of it.
There's nothing spectacular there. You just gives you the view you'd expect it to give. There's a couple of trees and potato farms in the distance.
Okay. So I look at Emery and just say,
So, do you want to wait for this big mama to show up, or do you want to leave him to their devices and get back to our friends?
As much as I don't like leaving him here alone, I don't think it'd be wise of us to stick around for them to come back and maybe recognize of what priestly order we're from.
May I borrow the charcoal and parchment that you had earlier?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, then I'm just gonna scribble out. Are you okay if we leave you here?
He nods.
Yes, he seems absolutely fine. Let's go.
Okay.
On the way out, I'm gonna reach
I'm going
into
to
my
actually
money
grab
purse and drop a
paper,
couple of silver
put that
pieces in the
paper
offering
back.
plate.
All right, so you put money in the offering plate. What about Emery?
I'm taking my paper back as part of a limited edition set, so.
All right. So, Hjorthur?
Yeah.
Otto.
Yeah.
Duds.
Hey.
You find yourselves in a very well-stocked, nice, warm kitchen. The smells of probably potato pies wafting over the air. The old lady is fumbling around the kitchen, picking up pots and pans, moving them between cupboards, occasionally pulling out an ingredient and placing it on the counter, sometimes taking an ingredient from the counter and putting it in the cupboard she didn't take it from. It is the homiest kitchen you have ever been in. And on the wall overlooking the whole place is the holy symbol of Olodamara, who in this setting is chaotic neutral and was the god that gave free will unto mortals by giving up his sanity.
So Hjorthork is not going to be in that kitchen at all because he doesn't trust that old lady. But he is going to be spending his time wandering the very spacious house, kind of piecing together who lived there, as if it was not the old lady, who would it be, and possibly what happened to them.
Roll me search.
First 20 of the day, guys. Just wait. It's happening.
Here it comes.
I believe.
Make it happen.
If I could find search.
Yes, you can.
Hey!
Almost.
That's not a bad roll.
Oh,
I like it. I like
Congrats.
how you have a -1 search.
Monks don't really get a lot of skill points, Grant. You know.
I think it's more that most of the house is probably like up here for you, and you like.
True, too.
He just grunts and gets close to things.
Although
I don't want to be like racist in fantasy terms, but this is a human's house. It's not really, things are not organized for easy dwarven searching. But nonetheless, let's say, what is it? I'll give you 3 questions. Ask me 3 questions, and I'll tell you what evidence you find in relation to them.
Oh, well, some of the questions are kind of like, how many rooms are there? How many bedrooms? And,
Okay, so how many rooms are there? There are plenty of bedrooms. There are 2 rooms that you can deduce are guest rooms. You can deduce these are guest rooms because you will find like a family portrait.
Okay.
It is actually the house itself belongs to, if this is in fact a family portrait, it belongs to a human family that is rather large.
Athena's, right?
And I also, at this point, I want you to roll me knowledge religion.
Okay.
Here comes that 20, right?
Well, I do have it checked, but I don't have any points in it, so it's just a straight roll. Yeah.
Okay, so the only thing I'll tell you there is that two of the younger family members, the able-bodied, strong-bodied farming types, something about them looks odd, and you're not certain. It might just be the way the painter is not the best, and it's
Okay.
like consistent, but something is weird about the son and the daughter of the family, or one son and one daughter of this.
And obviously, this is not a photograph, so it's a painting, and it looks
Right.
weird, right? It looks.
Yeah.
Okay.
The eyes aren't like following you anywhere. It's not like the X-Files music just started playing or whatever. But so it's a big family, and you don't see any of them here.
And I guess the second question would be: is there any evidence of like a scuffle or fights or things are out of place? Like, there was defensive stuff happening, or
So,
like
Other
the kitchen.
other than the things that you can deduce were occurring when a bloody person kind of stumbled in and the chaos of you breaking in and then the escape and all that stuff that you can account for. No. However, I will say that most of the belongings in the household are subtly out of place, not in the sense that like, oh, there's, not in the sense that like there was a scuffle and somebody put it back together wrong, but in the sense that literally nothing is where it should be. Like the shoes are on the desk, like on the bedside table. And the clothes that should clearly be hanging in the closet are instead next to the dishwashing. And like everything is in this, where if you just kind of like casually glanced around, you'd be like, oh yes, a house with house things. But the more you think about it, the more bizarre the way everything has been rearranged is.
Okay. Feeling very out of place because it's a human household. I'm a dwarf. Things are out of place. After I searched the place,
Oh my god, you have no idea about human customs, so you might just be chalking this up to what a weird group of humans.
I find it very strange. I would leave the house and just kick at the dirt and look at the wood line, the forest line, or whatever. Kind of be introspective. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, so you're trying very hard to not make like culturally insensitive assumptions based on your experience exploring.
These guys
the
are
town.
insane. Is what I'm thinking. Yes. Right. Okay.
Okay, what about Otto and Duns?
Well, I think I'd be. Is she in the kitchen still?
Mhm.
The lady, is she cooking? Because you said there's like.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's, despite
probably,
the fact that if you pay any attention to what she's doing, she's clearly doing nothing. She is actually making a pie, and it smells delicious.
Yeah, so I'd be in the kitchen, and I'd probably say, since we haven't asked her before, excuse me, ma'am, what can I address you as?
Oh, you can call me Annie.
Annie. Oh, a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Do you think they all like me? Just like, if you had to just kind of make a base feel, like, do you think that they like having me around?
Who's they?
Well, all my close friends that I was traveling with here.
Oh. She's gonna like look around, and she'll sit. Where is Dudley during this?
Well, I was gonna be in the kitchen also, so.
Okay, well Dudley.
You
be
can.
right
I
there.
probably would have asked this question even with Dudley in there too.
Okay.
Okay. So she'll like lean in. She says, "Do you want an answer to that question? Think carefully. Never ask a question you don't want the answer to."
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I said it, so I guess I meant it in my heart to say it out of my mouth. So yeah, Annie, if you have some insight on the situation, I'd love to hear it.
She says, "Well, the old one is
Obi, yeah.
reserving his judgment. He
Okay.
thinks that you might be useful. Maybe. The young one with the brains in his head. And the
Is it me?
quiet."
Is that me?
No, you're the one with the brains in your heart.
I was gonna say his brains are in his
Oh,
pants.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah.
Whoa! You have a brain for a heart?
I think it's just an expression. You're silly.
He says,
Oh, you're probably right. Sorry, continue, Annie.
I suspect he finds you annoying, but I also suspect he finds everyone annoying.
Huh.
It's the nature of intelligence. Being annoyed because you know all the things that other people don't.
and she says this with like an intent behind her eyes. She's looking
I'm
at
annoyed all the time.
Uh-oh.
Oh
Matt?
no.
Hello?
Oh,
Oh, no.
Oh, the lag is fixed.
Matt!
Oh no, it's not fixed.
Oh, that stare is intense, though. Holy.
I know.
He's like looking into my soul. Oh, wait, no, it's better.
Here. Can you?
I think he's here. I don't think he's lost connection. I think it's just
Yeah, just a camera.
So, like, she says this, the more you know, the more annoyed you get. And she says this with this very deliberate and intentful gaze at you, as if she's not saying everything that she's saying.
Okay.
Right? And you're like, oh, yeah, I'm annoyed all the time. And then she says, the dwarf just doesn't like you. But that's okay. You know why?
Really? I thought he was the one who liked me the most.
Maybe one day. For now, he's a little short on empathy. Eh? And the one with the heart for brains, the brains for heart, you. The one I am not supposed to call cute. I learned. I'm paying attention. Mm-hmm.
Of course. See, it's not really nice culturally or racially, but if you think I'm cute, that's fine too.
I mean, I haven't met very many halflings, I confess. Of the halflings I have met, you're probably the least ugly. That's good.
Thank you. No one said that before.
poor Dudley thinks it's a compliment.
I think Dudley likes you just fine. This is the one you need to pay attention
Well,
to.
Annie, if you don't mind me asking, how do you know all this?
Well, usually I'm good at guessing things.
That's it. Just a total random guess. Did they say
No.
something to you?
Yes. In exactly the same way
What
that
did they
you
say? They didn't say anything to me.
You didn't listen. For example, you are asking me if they like you. You are telling me you want to know if they like you, and probably you are telling me you want them to like you. That tells me you think they have a reason to not like you. I listen with my eyes.
Well, if they do, I've been nothing but and jovial to them.
What?
She says, the most important one to listen to is this one.
And she points at Dudley.
Me?
Whoa, God,
If you
that's
ever
pretty high
upset,
praise.
if you upset this one, you have truly done wrong.
Okay, with that, I'm gonna turn to Dudley and be like, Dudley, I solemnly swear to never
Yeah, with
upset
two
you for
fingers.
as long as I live. I'll even do it with double two fingers so you know
Just
that I
one.
mean
No,
it.
just the one. This one is the one that works.
Oh, all right.
Thank
Then
you.
I'll just keep it for you, so I don't upset you. I'll just use the 1, 2.
Thank you. So what is
That
your
is my
promise?
vow.
I'm gonna put my two fingers up
My
here.
promise is Dudley, for as long as Octavius Cinderguard draws breath on existence, I/he will never do you harm or make you upset.
Upset? Oh.
Say it.
What was
that
the
good?
last?
Was that right?
Upset? I missed the last sentence.
Upset or harm you or hurt you or do you wrong in any way.
Wow, that's a really nice promise. And I'm gonna salute him, kiss, and then put my 2 fingers to his 2 fingers. You do the same thing.
Excuse me while I vomit at the cuteness. This is... I was not
You're
prepared.
now an unofficial part of the Adventurers Guild.
Do I get a badge?
You have to earn those.
Oh, did I not just earn one?
No.
You earn the ass-kissing badge.
Yes.
The brown nose.
I want to know what the illustration on that one looks like. That's... Wow. Okay. I need a second. After that, that was. She will look between the two of you as this is going on, like she's fascinated, like not annoyed or not blown away that somebody would be ridiculous like this. Like she's genuinely fascinated, the way that Emery looks when he's reading an interesting text. Or the way Oberon occasionally looks at his mug. And then as soon as it calms down, she goes, "Wow, that was great. Pie?"
Yes, please.
What kind of pie is it, may I ask?
It's not a horse pie.
That kind of makes me think it's a horse pie.
Are you... That kind of does make me think it's a horse pie.
Roll me sense motive.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Which one?
Both
Which of us?
I guess?
The fun part about
there's
sense
two
motives is when
types
one of
of
you crits and the other one botches. And I get to tell 2 different people 2 different horrendously opposed things.
Motive. There it is. 20!
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
20.
You
I
rolled
did
a
it,
20
Gore.
on that
Congratulations, Dudley.
I did it.
So
I'm
she's being very genuine. It is not a
Natural 20!
She's saying this because she would find the idea of putting horse into a pie to be horrific and disgusting.
Maybe she does own the ranch.
It is probably a potato pie, but on a crit, I will also tell you there's a whole lot about this old lady you don't know, and part of it does relate to the pie. But you don't sense any...
What does that mean?
My name is Evil Squeegee, and I live for chaotic neutral everything.
I take a piece of the pie and serve it to Otto first.
Oh, I thank you, Dudley. Thank you for making this bountiful feast for us today, Annie. Just go on ahead and take a nice big bite.
Otto, what is your alignment? For the record, when you eat a piece of pie and the next thing that happens, the DM asks you what your alignment is.
Otto?
My alignment, good. I know it's good something.
His alignment is currently Comcast.
Matt? I don't know about this. I think he's gone.
Oh no.
He hung in
His
there for a
character
while.
sheet says neutral good, just so
Neutral
you know.
good.
All right. So I'm gonna ask you to roll me 1d4.
I'll roll that for him, I think.
Okay. Just take a note that whatever you roll here, that's how many pie points he has.
Okay. I'm rolling 1d4.
Yeah, I didn't hear what he said at all. Sorry, guys.
I mean, I could name them the proper mechanical thing, but that would be spoilers, so we're calling them pie points for now.
Oh, Matt. No.
Matt, close everything but Skype. I'll roll for you. I don't know if it's...
No, Roll20's not using hardly anything.
It's,
I don't
if he has
know.
Twitch open, that'll do it.
Do you have Twitch open?
You might have to close that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you just close everything except the stream, except the chat. It's probably it's what you should be doing anyway.
Okay, I think I'm back now.
You're not supposed to keep it open. Not that it matters on this
So
stream.
Otto has Otto, this pie is amazing. The potatoes you've had so far have clearly been potatoes grown in a barren land of cursed soil. These are immaculate potatoes.
Ooh.
I have been waiting to use that phrase all day.
The immaculate potato.
Immaculate potatoes.
Oh, wow.
I'm assuming Otto will want to act his reaction to the pie before Dudley responds.
Probably. I don't think he's hearing us, though.
Okay,
Yeah?
well, assume that Otto expresses that this is good.
Okay. Wait, so do I know that they're immaculate potatoes based off of my roll? Or no?
No, you know that there
I
is
just know
something.
there's something.
There's something about the pie that she's not telling you, and you know that she holds no malice
Alright.
towards.
Based off of his reaction, I go, oh, wow, yeah, give me a piece of that pie. My mom used to make a really good one.
Okay, roll me 2d4, because I think you're lawful good, right?
Yes.
Okay.
6.
6. You have 6 pie points.
6 pie points. What does that mean?
He's not saying.
Don't question the pie. Just
Yay,
be
6 pie
happy
points. It could
that you
be
have
horrible.
the pie.
Later down the road, you're gonna find out it's a penalty on your death saves.
I
and
know.
You've been screwed the whole time. No. And I'm assuming the dwarf wants nothing to do with this kitchen, this pie, or the people eating it.
He's outside, just looking at the trees.
All right. So, roll me. Fuck it, I like sense motive for this. Roll me sense motive.
Who? Me?
You. Yeah. Sense those trees.
I'm sensing tree motives? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. I sense a 10.
On an actual 10. So it's generally like the forest as a whole, but mostly the direction that you know the blood stains came from. That direction, like just looking at it, evokes a reaction. So when I creepy story time with Evil Squeegee, we moved into a house in Maine for a while, and like the house was really cheap to move into. The rent was really low. The people were desperate to get somebody to live in this house, and my parents didn't ask because we didn't have much money. So we moved in, and my room, whenever I opened the closet, the first time I looked into the closet, I could feel a sharpness in the back of my throat, and just talking about it now, my entire body tenses up. Just looking into the closet. So I closed the closet and I barred it, and I wouldn't let anybody go towards the closet, nothing. It freaked me out. So after we moved out, within the first 6 months of living there, I looked it up, and that building had been like a site of like 7 murders since it had been built.
Jeez.
So he
And
made
one of
night.
the bodies had been discovered in my closet. That's the feeling that you get looking in that direction of those trees.
I have a neighbor who has a basement that's like that. You go down there and you sense, you just feel it. And I don't even believe in that crap, but I'm just like, whoa, something's different here.
Like it's that experience that
Okay.
like that's when you have that experience, and then you read Lovecraft and you go, oh,
Oh.
yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of pace around the front yard, obviously not wanting to, but feeling compelled to continually look in that section. Like it's kind of become an obsession of mine. Like, oh, that's wrong. Oh, don't want to look away from it for too long, you know?
Right.
Kind of thing. So he Arthur. And of course he's going to look back when he hears the exasperation, the goodness of the pie, and he's going to kind of roll his eyes and continue pacing.
All right. So this pie, Dudley, is amazing. This is the best potato pie you will
Do I
ever
feel like healthier or stronger because I ate a piece of this pie?
How many backflips could you do right now?
Like, could I do it with immense skill?
You feel there is a feeling, and at first, like it's very subtle, but you're excited. Not necessarily in that very high energy way, but in that way that like anticipation.
Okay.
But you don't know what for.
Annie, what did you put in this pie? It's so delicious. I can't believe it.
Potatoes, and the crust, and the cream, and the other potatoes,
Other potatoes.
and the seasoning. Well, I mean, the potatoes from here, potatoes from there.
She's like motioning to like disparate cupboards across the kitchen.
And she says, and I bake every last one with tender love and care.
Oh, the tender love and care. Oh, that's what did it. Wow, thank you so much. My mom never would teach me how to make potato pie, but I could tell she put tender love and care into it also.
She says, never trust a chef who doesn't cook with tender love and care.
I agree with that. Otto, you okay?
I think so.
The pie is so delicious. It makes you...
It's really good. Yeah, it just kind of put me into a trance there for a minute. Sorry
I
about
could
that.
tell. Just take it easy, okay? No sudden movements.
I've just never tasted. You're right. I've just never tasted anything quite like this pie before.
Okay, so I think at that point,
Transcends.
so I think at that point we basically settled what each of the characters want to be doing until Emery and Oberon come back.
Pretty much.
Okay. So Emery and Oberon, the donkey is getting more stubborn the later in the day it gets.
So remember, I mindfully plucked all those leaves that the donkey seemed to really enjoy.
Yeah.
As soon as I start sensing that Rankin Samuelson is becoming a little bit more obstinate than normal, I'm going to hand it a handful of them to eat.
Yeah, Remkin.
Remkin Sanderson? Renkin
Samuelson.
Renkin Samuelson.
That's his name. That's the donkey's name.
Renkin Samuelson is a stubborn, old, gnarly beast of a donkey. There is nothing he will ever do that he did not want to do.
Typically, yes.
And among the many things that he wants to do, you ever owned a dog?
Oh, yeah.
The second there is food in your hand, they want the food. And if going down the road is the reason that food will be given to him, he will go down the road. You've actually kind of painted yourself into a corner over the years with this donkey like this, because once he realized that doing what you want will get him food, sometimes he won't do it until you make him
Right.
have food. Like, food is the only time he will cooperate, because he realizes now that if he cooperates with no food, there will just be less food.
Yep. All right. Well, once he eventually starts to move, I say,
You would think I would have learned.
as I look at Emery and say,
His father Samuel was exactly the same.
Well, he's... I'm not even gonna say it.
Yes, when his father became too old, I decided to take Rankin on the road. Unfortunately, he's as obstinate and as annoying a beast as his father ever was.
Do you ever think that maybe you're hard to argue with?
Well, I mean, I feed him when he's hungry. I make sure he gets the odd brushing. I try to kick him less than I need to. and I rarely whip him unless he needs whipping. And I still do not understand why he is yet to warm to me.
Oh.
Maybe it's because he's just like his father.
Well, Rankin is exactly like his father. That's why he's called Rankin, Samuel's son.
Oh, I just caught that. Wow. You have to excuse me for not...
I have managed to teach him a very interesting trick, though.
There it goes.
When we eventually arrive back, I will demonstrate, but we'll lead the dwarf to gain full amusement from the trick.
This trick wouldn't happen to be harmful to the dwarf in a way that
No, unless he has a very thin skin. Is particularly testy about his name. But don't worry, Emery. All will be revealed very soon.
I can't wait.
Maybe it's because he's like his father.
Exactly.
This is why my number one advice to people who want to get into playing D&D and want to up their role-playing game is play characters who lack a little bit of self-awareness. Guaranteed. Guaranteed to make your game more entertaining every time.
Yep.
So you guys traverse the road, and as the sun sets lower, the animal needs more encouragement, and it gets a little, okay, so there's cold, there's normal temperature, and you're fine when it's cold, but when it's almost cold, that's the worst place to be. I'd rather be standing in the cold than I would be standing just when it's time to shiver but not actually be cold. It's that right there. Like everything else in this damn area, it's just a hair off.
It's that cold hot weather where you're cold at some points and other points you're like, wow, it's really warm, and then it's cold. Yeah, I know exactly what. It's a New York City thing.
Yeah, it's inconvenient. It's very inconvenient.
Yeah, it's a New York City
I grew up in Maine. You know what it is in Maine? It's fucking cold. I come out here, it's not cold. I hate it. It's almost cold, and it's worse than being cold.
Yeah. I know exactly. Well, we got it. Yeah.
So it's almost cold tonight.
Well, New York has it, huh?
It's pretty cold over Christmas recess, I understand.
Internet. Ayo.
And you get back to the farmhouse, and the dwarf is patrolling out front, staring angrily at the woods.
Second, I see that damn donkey, and it's going to be kind of comical to you humans. I'm going to be jogging on over there with my little dwarf legs.
No,
I'm going to be like, oh, thank Morden you're here. I'm losing my mind. These two daft idiots, and they're eating pie.
As soon as he arrives, I'm going to give the donkey a subtle poke in the rear so that it does what donkeys do when they're startled and goes, "Yaw!" And then as it does it, I'm going to yank the reins really quick to cut it short. So what you'll actually hear is the donkey says, "Yaw!" I was like,
see? It says your name! Rankin Samuelson is warming to you!
This donkey will have its revenge.
I'm just going to be pointing, kind of speechless.
And then Oberdon is looking incredibly pleased with himself, like he's just cracked the greatest joke ever, even though it isn't. But he is his level of sense of humor is typically so dry that this is humor to him. This is this is hilarity to him. So he's sitting there.
It was a joke. Be impressed.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast Cure Minor Wounds on Remkin Samuelson. He deserves one.
So I'm going to stand in front of the donkey, not letting him progress further to the house, because I'm just be like, "Are you done, Oberdon, Emery?"
Yes.
We've dumped him off to the Pelorians. They'll take care of him from here on out.
You don't understand. The Otto and the halfling are eating pies with that woman that we shouldn't trust, and they're going crazy over the pies. You hear them from outside, and that house is all wrong. It doesn't make any sense, and I need to know, because I'm not asking Otto this. I need to ask you because you're more serious, Oberdon. But you did that joke, Emery. You answered me.
Maybe he's not that serious right now.
When humans live in houses, do they make no sense?
Some, and
things that are not where they should be, that make no sense. And is that how you humans live?
It depends on how much depression and ADHD they have.
I don't know what those words mean.
I will confess there is something
so
very, very untoward about the old lady. I feel almost as if she is somehow almost like channeling a religious icon or something. She seems to be a little too disassociated with the world.
Well, she's feeding them food that she baked herself, and they're being all jovial about it like they were when they were drunk.
But what exactly are they eating?
Oh, God.
What else is there around here? It's potatoes.
Just potatoes.
The pies.
Oh, the pies. Well, they did smell rather delicious. They were sitting there warming on the... Did they save any?
Oberdon, you're not listening. That whole house is wrong. There's a portrait of a family, and the woman is the old lady. She's not of it. We know this. This is not right.
Well,
and that forest is looking at me. It's giving me these looks, and it's creeping me the fuck out.
This old woman would be the only proprietor of such a large estate, and the horses finding their way so recently to the nearby town of Westington, whatever it was called, Westfield, whatever. But perhaps we should go and take a look, Emery. Let's see if there's something to Heorthric's ramblings, or
Yeah, if you find nothing off about the pie there, save a slice for me, huh?
I'm just gonna.
What do you mean about the woods watching you? That's not.
It's that feeling, that there's something looking at you, but not. It's weird feeling. I can't explain it, but where the blood trail goes, I can't not look in that direction. All these 4 hours where I'm just walking and pacing. And I'm going to step aside so the donkey and group can progress. And I'm going to be walking besides the...
You will now permit the donkey to move.
I will permit the donkey to move. And I will stay on the other side of the forest line, so the donkey's kind of in my way, although I could probably see it.
Heorthric, where was there any kind of sink or anything in the upstairs where you were talking about this strange portrait?
Well, there's 2 guest bedrooms, at least that I could discern, and some other rooms. And then the portrait was in one of the rooms, and it's of a family of 4, and they're large like you, in the plate mail especially.
Did you happen to notice any wash basins or anything like that?
No, I didn't look for wash basins. I was looking at the fact that there were shoes on a table and clothes. Oh, there was a wash basin. Because the clothes were by the wash. That's what that was. I was just different. It's stonework and it's confusing.
Excellent.
But there were clothes next to it, like, not in, I guess, the closets? You have closets? Yes, we don't.
You understand he's asking for himself where the wash basin is.
Well, you go in that house and find out for yourself. You'll make sure none of it makes any sense.
Come with me and show me your concerns.
Well, I'm gonna get my hands dig my hands into the dirt outside in the flower bed so that they're a little noticeably dirty. Take the gauntlets off first, and then I walk straight in, and without missing a beat, I say,
"That pie smells delicious. Save me a slice. I'm just popping upstairs to wash my hands."
Oh yes, very much. Welcome back.
And then heading upstairs to the wash basin, I quickly do that, but then I use that as my ruse to actually look at the rest of the house without her wondering why the fuck I just went upstairs.
I'm just going to follow you up the stairs before you do that and just be like, I just walked upstairs. I didn't ask for permission because don't trust that lady.
Well, that's
So
exactly the
she
point.
has room for
If she
concern.
has something
about
to
things.
hide, perhaps we shouldn't alert her to the fact that we may be onto her.
But she'll hit you with the frying pan again.
No, she won't hit me with it. I'll make sure that you're between me and her.
Ah.
So, Emery, looking at things,
Yeah.
other than the trees looking at him, which you still aren't necessarily certain about, seeing how weirdly everything is, there's that moment of relief where you realize that, oh, okay, Horthric hasn't been infected with this madness. You just found this corpse with the blood everywhere. Like, he hasn't contracted that. He's not actually losing it. He's right. You, with the knowledge religion upon seeing the portrait.
Okay. I will do that because that's my special skill. That's my special skill. Well, my second most specialist skill. I have quite a few skills. It's knowledge, religion. There we go. I hit the button.
Hey!
Oh, come on. That was.
Oh.
I got a 12 on a 1.
Oh,
Come
no. That,
Wow.
I got a 1.
Oh. Every
I-
time. Every time it's important.
Okay, so it is a 12, and this is your domain of stuff. So I, as a DM, have a policy where I don't take the 1 and make somebody the butt of the joke when they botch, if it's their domain. I don't want somebody to sit down and be like, I'm going to play Batman, and then fail and tripping and falling all over the campsite I'm walking across. Like, Batman would not be doing that.
Mhm.
However, a nat 1 calls for a good and hefty punishment at some point.
Okay.
And I believe I know what that punishment will be.
Okay.
So there are the son and the daughter. And the daughter. There's 3 kids. 2 of them you recognize as tieflings.
Oh.
They look a little off. And at first you're like, oh, maybe it's just the painter. But you, knowing more of this, you recognize the blood of demons in 2 of those children. The 3rd child, the eldest of the 3, you recognize as one of your nice sister's friends.
Oh.
And there's your nat 1. Your missing sister's pen pal.
That she had.
Or
I may have read in her diary about.
has her half sibling question mark potential demonic blood. Verifiable demonic bloods in the family house.
Oh. That's. Okay.
Cheers.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I will ponder this and.
Oh man.
Oh, I think we just
No.
lost Matt hardcore. Hi there, I'm Gorbad, normally the resident dungeon master here on How We Roll, but for this particular campaign, I'm going to be taking a seat on the other side of the table to become a player. If you'd like to keep up with all things How We Roll, you can follow us on Twitter at How We Roll, check us out on Facebook at How We Roll, and you can also follow us on YouTube, and you've guessed it, at How We Roll. We also have a website, www.howweroll.com. Now, if you want to keep up with me personally, you can follow me on Twitter at Gorbad, and don't forget to check out my blog, www.thedmblog.com, for all things Dungeons & Dragons related, both for players and DMs alike. We will see you next time.
Sup, I'm Evil Squeegee, they, them, and as you can tell by now, Gorbad has made the mistake of letting me Dungeon Master a campaign on his channel. If you want to follow me on my channel, where I make the mistake of letting me Dungeon Master games on my channel, you can find that at twitch.tv/evil-squeegee. If you want to follow me on Twitter, at twitter.com/evil squeegee, you can find inclusivity rants, gaming rants, rants about rants, and rants.
Eat it on.
It is. Greetings and well met, my friends. It is I, the great and powerful Thelonious Conch. My good friend the Snuggler has asked me so kindly to step in. If you want to keep up with what he's doing in the world, you can follow him at 2 places. The first is on Twitter at Matty Sweet Tweet. And the second, of course, is Instagram, where you can follow him at Matty Quick Pick. And I see what he did there. Clever boy. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time, and don't forget the lavender.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of How Reroll. My name's Jane, and you can follow me on Twitter at Jane on Twitch with a 0, not an O. I also do stream like 3 times a week now, so you can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/JaneIvana. What do you gotta say, Norman? Sorry. Peace, suckers.
Hey y'all, Shagget here. I play various characters on How We Roll. This is the first campaign where Gorbat is a player, and I very much would like to enact my player vengeance on him, since he's usually the DM and I can't do that really, because he'll just, wish it away and make it irrelevant. Follow me on Twitter at Eneb_Convos, and we can start a dialogue to find out the creative, awesome means that my character will get his character killed. Because isn't that what every player wants to do? I think so.
Hi, it's me, Satchmo. Player, How We Roll. You follow me. It's Satchmo.